Now, a Target 12 consumer investigation, avoiding tire troubles. We've learned the tires you buy off the rack today could actually have been made years ago, and that could put you at risk.
So how can you make sure the new tires you're buying are really new? Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell is here now with what she's uncovered.
The case that prompted our investigation involved a set of tires that fell apart after less than a year of use. The man who bought them was concerned about his family's safety.
Tires are coming apart.
These tires were on John LaPan's SUV for about 9 months when he noticed the sidewall splitting and cracking.
There's more slits starting, like right here.
John purchased the tires in 2014. When he had them replaced, he found out the tires were actually manufactured in 2010 and 2011.
They were sitting in the guy's warehouse for between 3 and 4 years before he sold them as brand new tires.
We took photos of the tires to Kane, the president of Safety Research and Strategies.
When you see a tire that's 4 or 5 years old and it shows that kind of degradation, either a couple things are going on. It was exposed to some very extreme conditions, or it may be a defect.
And Kane says there's also another more common issue at play here.
We're routinely seeing older tires that are sold to consumers as new.
As Kane explained, there are no mandated expiration dates on tires, but he says there are some general guidelines for tire use.
Vehicle manufacturers recommend replacement of tires regardless of tread at 6 years. Most tire manufacturers recommend replacement of tires regardless of tread at 10 years. And that's a recognition that tires degrade over time whether or not they're used.
That means if you buy tires that were manufactured 4 years ago, you're missing out on 4 years worth of driving on that tire. But this is something you can check when you're buying a new set. Take a look. There's a date code printed on every single tire that's manufactured.
So if you follow that DOT number to the end in that ellipse, you'll see 0501. That represents the 5th week of 2001. So it's the week and then the year.
While it may be easy to check, most people don't know it's there.
If you're buying a product that's as important to your safety as a tire, and the date code is buried in this long string of alphanumeric digits on the sidewall, as a consumer, that presents a real problem.
It was a lesson learned the hard way for John.
This is the one that was 2010.
But now he knows exactly where to look. After I got in touch with the company that sold John the defective tires, that company decided to reimburse him for most of the cost to replace those tires. As we dug into this issue, we actually learned there's a different date code for tires that are manufactured before 2000. Experts say those tires should not be on the road, but many of them still are. Coming up new at 6, we'll show you what you need to look for. With the Target 12 investigators, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Tony. Avoiding tire troubles. On Eyewitness News at 5, we showed you tires that were sold as new that had actually been sitting in a warehouse for years. During our investigation, we also showed you how to find the date code on your tires. But we learned those codes are different for older tires. New at 6, Target 12 consumer investigator Susan Campbell explains how you can spot a tire that was made before 2000.
Instead of a 4-digit number that newer tires have, you're going to be looking for a 3-digit number. It's still easy to see, but many people don't know how to read it.
Most people would say that's a perfectly usable tire, and I think most tire shops would in fact install that tire as well.
But this tire was actually manufactured in 1999. I know that because of its date code. You can see it right there, 319.
It's the week and year, so 31st week of 1999.
Every tire that's manufactured has a date code on its sidewall. It's always in an ellipse at the end of a long DOT number. For tires made before 2000, the date code is made up of 3 numbers. For tires made after 2000, it's 4 numbers.
In that ellipse, you'll see 0501. That represents the 5th week of 2001.
Though it's easy to check the age of your tires, many people don't realize they have to. We were alerted to the issue of old tires being sold as new by John LaPan. He purchased these tires in 2014. Within months, they were splitting apart.
I have my kids, my grandkids that ride in this vehicle.
We discovered the tires were manufactured years earlier and had been sitting in a warehouse before they were sold.
We're routinely seeing older tires that are sold to consumers as new.
Though there's no mandated expiration date on tires, most vehicle manufacturers recommend replacement tires in 6 years. And most tire manufacturers recommend replacement tires in 10 years, regardless of tread on both accounts.
And that's a recognition that tires degrade over time, whether or not they're used. If you don't wear it out within that 6 to 10 year period, you basically have a product you're paying for that you really shouldn't be.
After we got involved, the company that sold John LaPan the defective tires has agreed to pay for most of the replacement cost. With the Target 12 investigators, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.